welcome back to the Plutocracy Report on PRN. I'm your host, Vince Marcanti, and I hope you all have been well since the last time we talked. And I hope you're getting by dealing with the crazy plutocrat propaganda that's omnipresent out there lately. It's driving me nuts. But good news, today is the 1-year anniversary of the Plutocracy Report. How about that? We made it a year. Well, I gotta admit, I'm not in much of a celebratory mood today because I'm in the middle of a back-to-back 50-hour weeks of hard labor to finish a gig I landed, and I feel really sore and drained and dumb. But, I need the money so I can give it right back to the crooked Illinois tax rats, or they'll take my home. And they're trying to find any way they can to fleece us more before it all goes to crap. So, I didn't have much time to put together some brilliant and impactful commentary that you're used to getting out of this amazing show. But this week I'm just going to kind of run my mouth off and shoot from the hip and speak mostly off the cuff this week. And, I'll play some clips today. And this show will feature all original music to honor the 1-year milestone. I hope it's amusing and thought-provoking, my friends. But first, I want to thank some new Pluto heads for reaching out, like David from Alaska, who is a highly intelligent guy who wrote brilliantly about the show on Facebook. And then there's Thomas, a great musician from New York. Steve, the intelligent trucker. Jean from Detroit. And a very cool woman from New Zealand wrote, whose name I can't remember right now because my brain is on low function mode from all the paint fumes I'm inhaling at work. And of course, all you other Pluto heads who wrote prior to this week, whom I consider my friends. If it wasn't for y'all letting me know you enjoy the show, I wouldn't have carried on, because this is no easy task, especially when I still have to slave for a living and all the other crap you got to do that comes up in life. But I tell you, I felt very isolated in my views for so long living among Chicago Democrat sheepies. But everyone who wrote me says the same thing, that they totally agree and they feel the same way. So hope lives, and there are more of us than we think. We will unify and make an impact in the world and hopefully set things right before they freaking kill us all. Anyways, you can reach me at the Plutocracy Report at gmail.com or friend me on Facebook. And keep in mind, we, the awake and aware ones, are not alone, and we need to come together and keep each other inspired, motivated, and connected. We are kindred spirits, and we broke free of the bullcrap. But it's hard to do any protesting and activism when you have to work your life away. I tell you, this is one of the biggest factors in keeping the sheepies from investigating and revolting. If you work 40 hours or more a week, you won't have the energy to be an activist or protest or even have time to learn what to protest and what's really going on in our subservient to plutocrats government of rich clowns and fools. And if you just listen to all the propaganda out there, you're not going to know what's going on. In fact, everything you think that's going on, actually the opposite is true. And on the way to work, I have to listen to the radio again because my phone carrier, lowered my data rates after I used them all up. But, even the BBC and NPR, it's all the same narrative, all the same plutocrat propaganda, especially pertaining to Venezuela now, and it's just sickening. There is no alternative voices in the mainstream, and that's what a lot of people listen to. And they call the alternative news fake news. Oh, it's kooky out there, Now, let's think back. Of course, after World War II, the war to end all wars, if we ended the reign of the plutocrats, who FDR protected and saved, keep that in mind. He seemed progressive and did great things, but I tell you what, his biggest accomplishment was saving plutocracy and capitalism, as did Obama. And if we instituted a true people's government of common sense, rationality, and progressiveness by the 70s, most people would be working 20, maybe 25 hours a week or less, and their jobs would be helping their community to thrive. Because, let's face it, most jobs today are useless and unnecessary. I'm talking like 85% of all jobs are unnecessary. But the plutocrats would rather see us dig holes than fill them back in before they would allow us to have basic income and more free time to enjoy our lives or educate ourselves to how effed up our government is. We could have structured our central planning system and communities in the most intelligent and rational and humane and egalitarian way if we removed plutocrat money from decision-making, if we banned it, if we criminalized it and actually did something about it. I mean, there's no need for war or poverty or manufactured scarcity or devious market speculation and manipulation and secrecy and corruption and cruelty. We could have had the most progressive, humane, and fulfilling society real science and technology could provide. That's the truth, and that should enrage us. We have stagnated our social development. Instead of removing the plutocrats and ending plutocracy, we believe propaganda, and we let the plutocrats gain total control and structure of our society and manipulate our minds to think a lifetime of servitude, inequality, and constant fear was the best we could do. Creepy capitalist America. How exceptional, huh? The dichotomy of division the power structure reinforces every single day is the illusion of democracy, and only a race of people with no ability to see reality and have no creative thinking to see what's wrong and how to fix it could accept this regressive state of existence as the best we can do. I think one of the biggest delusions they programmed in many of us is that they think if they just find a way to be rich, they can achieve the American dream that only capitalism can bring. John Steinbeck said, "Socialism never took root in America because the poor see themselves not as an exploited proletariat, but as temporarily embarrassed millionaires." He put it well there. You know, once I win the lottery, or once my long shot comes in at the racetrack or the casino, or once my penny stock takes off, I won't give a damn about how unfair the lower class is treated. A few lucky winners and lots of losers, baby. What a system, huh? Now, what's the use of being rich if there isn't a majority of struggling people you can look down upon? How disgusting we are to abide with this sick system. The people that are elected to high office are happy with the way things are, and the most prevailing and absurd notion is, this is the best we can do as a society. Cutthroat capitalism and unfair taxation to the lower class, and bail out socialism and tax breaks to the upper class. Great idea, guys. Let's keep that system going. It's so great. It's built into the banking system, which is the method on which they constructed the plutocratic world control systems. You know, the poor are penalized. They're the ones who pay the fees and get higher interest rates, while the rich get free money and interest just for having a lot of money in the bank. And they're further rewarded with tax breaks. Good Lord. Just think about it. There could never be a more unfair and elitist system ever envisioned than the one we have accepted as the best we can do. It doesn't have to be this way, America. We can change it for the better. And I'm not talking about all the failed socialist, communist, Marxist bullcrap. That is merely giving more power to the state, and we end up with plutocrats with even more power. Tell people we are not idiot socialists. We are rationalists. And I will write out a platform when I get some free time, so I don't know, maybe never. I'll try. And send me ideas, y'all. You know, if you have any, shoot them to me. I'll consider them and maybe put them into the platform. But, you know, no more dichotomy of failed ideology. We want a new system of, by, and for all the people and the planet and everything that lives. All right, anyways, let's start off today with reflection on how change really comes, and the only way it can come, from demands and action, which is something we haven't learned in creepy capitalist America. October 24th, 1974, the women of Iceland went on strike for equal rights. 90% of women walked off their jobs and out of their homes, shutting down the entire country. The men could barely cope. The next year, Parliament passed a law guaranteeing equal pay. 5 years later, Iceland elected the world's first woman president. Now Iceland has the highest gender equality in the world. How about that, all you misogynistic morons around the world? Iceland has really been a forward-thinking and united country, that actually did something when the Milton Friedman capitalism that was forced upon them fell apart and destroyed their economy. They actually did something. They jailed bankers and they tried to restructure things, and they're doing better. But we don't talk about Iceland here in America. So let's compare the women's movement in Iceland in 1974 to what happened in America, the land of the plutocrats. We started and funded the women's movement so we could tax both sides. That way we could put women to work and take their children to control. Great job. That was David Rockefeller. Your plan worked perfectly, David, you demon. We need grassroots movement and clear and concise demands that end plutocracy, not controlled protests to facilitate it and to strengthen it. Kill the two-party duopoly because they take plutocrat money, and we all know it. And all these astroturf protests and movements do nothing. Well, in today's show, I want to expose the fight to maintain the plutocratic and so-called capitalist order, and how the lefty sheepies themselves defend it in a self-policing way. I'm going to give further proof my assessments on conspiracy theory is correct, as are all my convictions. People who are finding truth and wish to share it are the enemies of the state, and we are being censored and chastised by sheepies, and this means we are making an impact. Now, first, let me make clear that I wish we could trust our government. And, of course, we should have a government that we can trust. And I seek to help create one that is honest. How can that be bad? And as I have stated, secrecy and lies within our government and institutions is mankind's biggest problem. And we can change that if we end plutocracy. It is the root of all our problems as a nation and throughout the frickin' world. It is abundantly clear that nothing in government, including all the agencies we pay for, can be trusted, and most people know this. The verifiable proof is insurmountable. They told us harmful things are okay for us to eat and drink and smoke. That we know was untrue now. They lied us into every frickin' war, and they continue to do so without the people demanding change or calling out the BS. I guess it's easier to ignore the problem than to do something about it when you have to work your life away to survive. I get it. I wouldn't mind just laying on the couch today after a hard day of work, a hard week of work, and just watch some golf or something meaningless. But I can't do that anymore because this system is so blatantly bad that I can't live with myself if I don't talk about it and be an advocate of change. I mean, think about it. People must not care what we've done to devastate other countries since the 50s and what we will soon do to Venezuela and what we've already done to them. Or does anyone care about the people on the streets? It's 0 degrees in Chicago and there's homeless people out there. They're all over. Or what about the people going broke from hospital bills or aren't insured? Isn't it time to change? Time to stand against all plutocrat-imposed injustice and corruption and change the goddamn system. Even if you feel like you're doing all right and you're successful, isn't it better to have compassion? Wouldn't you feel better about yourself if you were active in trying to make things better for all people? The ones suffering the most, Have some compassion, you rich people. Come on. The sugar industry paid government to say processed sugar is okay. In fact, it's no different than natural sugar you get from fruit. That's a proven lie. Thanks to a non-conforming hero like Gary Knoll, who cares more about truth and helping people than going with the flow like a good little sheepy. Every war is based on a false flag, and the provocations and reasons are always nonsensical and strictly for money flow to profit at all cost corporations. This is proven facts, yet some, maybe most, are still led to believe we can trust them, and a large demographic thinks, you're nuts if you don't believe everything they say. They came up with a campaign to make anyone who doubts anything they tell us is a complete conspiracy wacko who must be uneducated. This is geared at smug Democrats who are afraid to admit they can't trust Democrat politicians and governmental agencies. And this is done by creating insane conspiracy theories and associating them with credible ones. You know, the flat earth theory is the latest example and the most effective one that they always use. The Democrats are told, if you believe geoengineering is going on, you must be a flat earther. Or if you believe fluoride, an industrial waste product, is unsafe, you must be a flat earther. Or if you believe the official story of 9/11 is untrue, you must be a flat earther. If you believe vaccines are mostly ineffective, dangerous, and filled with unhealthy toxins, you must be a flat earther. You think I'm kidding? Well, just listen to what the sheepies hear out there in the media matrix that they love and trust. What I'm about to play is from the incredibly unfunny Daily Show. I don't know how people still listen to it. I mean, I do listen to it just to monitor what they're telling these Democrats who think this guy's funny, who he isn't. His writers are horrible, too. I mean, I don't even get a smirk out of it anymore. But this segment came up, and listen how dumb and sophomoric this washed-up old comedian sounds. He's making fun of people who don't trust the CDC's stance on vaccines, and we must be all flat earthers. Listen to this goofball idiot.
Now America has been blessed with some top-notch diseases. Swine flu, bird flu, and of course, pizza rat chlamydia. I've had them all. Well, good news. Now we're even more blessed because one of America's classic diseases is making a comeback.
Right now, the U.S. is experiencing its worst measles outbreak since 2014, with 349 cases in 26 states in the past year.
Measles is no laughing matter. Measles can kill, and
it is exquisitely contagious. So you can be in a room where somebody with measles had left 2 hours earlier and still get the disease.
Measles can survive in a room for 2 hours? There's not enough hand sanitizer in the world. Measles are back like a New Kids on the Block reunion tour. No one asked for it, and no one's happy to see it. I thought measles were Dark Ages crap we successfully eliminated from the planet like the dodo. If you say you're a bird, but you can't fly, you're a liar! How did this happen? Modern medicine had pretty much eradicated measles, but it turns out science is no match for its greatest foe, idiots.
This month, the World Health Organization called the anti-vaccine movement a major threat to public health.
Hundreds rallied to preserve their right not to vaccinate their children. It is highly contagious.
Yes, it is.
Perhaps one of the most contagious diseases out there.
Yes, it is.
Are you afraid you're putting your child at risk?
No, I don't feel like I'm putting my child at risk. There's nothing that's going to change my mind on this.
I love morons. If you read the fine print, well, actually, I've read the fine print of measles, and you know what the side effects include? Dying of measles! So where do these dummies get these dumb ideas? The same place that wants you to believe your miserable aunt and closeted uncle are actually happy. The internet. But social media are finally starting to get their act together.
Facebook said, quote, "We've taken steps to reduce the distribution of health-related misinformation on Facebook, but we know we have more to do."
Pinterest is blocking searches related to vaccinations. The social media company says it wants to curb the spread of misinformation. Most shared images on Pinterest relating to vaccinations advise against them.
Who the is getting their health information on Pinterest? That's where you're supposed to plan weddings and find tacky home decor. Then again, on Pinterest, you can find tips on how not to vaccinate your kid. And then find the perfect headstone for your unvaccinated kid. Oh, shut up! I'm up to date on my shots. I don't hear your oohs. Look, this isn't a debate. Vaccines are safe, and anti-vaxxers put the rest of us at risk. So get your shots, and find a new conspiracy theory that won't hurt anyone. We don't even care how crazy it is. You can think the Earth is flat, and that Tupac is still alive and lives underneath the flat Earth, like a 90s hip-hop troll.
Oh my God, it's so
Just
funny.
leave us out of it. And if that doesn't work, we'll have to fall back on the same plan B we use for everything these days. Get the kids to save us.
High school senior Ethan Lindenberger says his parents' misguided beliefs about his health and the health of his younger siblings put them at risk. He recently defied his mother and got vaccinated.
Lindenberger thought it was normal for most kids not to get immunized. But about 2 years ago, he began to see how the posts about vaccines his own mother was sharing on social media were dangerous. In November, Lindenberger asked strangers on Reddit where he could go to get up to date with his shots. My parents are kind of stupid, he wrote. God knows how I'm still alive.
He had to vaccinate himself? Imagine you're in a bedroom with a syringe. Then your mom walks in and screams, "Is that a vaccine?" "No, Mom, it's heroin, I swear." Look, vaccines are a public good, and I'm willing to do my part to end this epidemic of stupid.
Wow. What a frickin' moron, huh? It was funny about the dodo bird going extinct. What a funny thing that happened. That the idiot human race freaking beat these things to death, to their extinction. I always hated hearing about that. That made me sick to my stomach when I heard about the dodo bird. Anyways, what are they saying here? So if you don't get vaccinations, you will die. Because you were so stupid to believe a study posted on social media. You know, because smart people don't believe anything on the internet. They get their news from network TV, the most propagandistic and false outlets in the world. And I guess vaccines don't work unless everyone in the world gets them, huh? Good Lord, how frickin' stupid. And that kid, he thinks he's going to die without vaccinations, but his parents are the dumb ones. Unvaccinated people are way more healthy than vaccinated ones, studies show. If you think we are stupid flat earthers, you should be glad we refuse vaccines, because we're all going to die, right? Oh, but wait, you're afraid vaccinated people will get the things they're supposedly immune to? How frickin' stupid is that? Good Lord, what a washed up, stupid old fool of a tool. So, you know, smart people, the smug dummycrats, believe whatever the government says, even though they're caught lying for profits to plutocrats all the time. I've warned people about vaccines, and the Chicago dummycrats that I grew up with call me a moron who believes dangerous conspiracy theory, and then I heard that guy's segment, and I'm like, that's where they're getting it from. People like John Oliver and, who's that idiot? Bill Maher and this Daily Show. They get their crap from here. They're supposed to be funny, too, and there's never a good joke in any of that. So if you notice, there is this increasing anti-conspiracy campaign, you know, and they're appealing to the dummycrats. And you know why? Because more and more people are waking up. You know, they say there is a deadly measles outbreak because dummies aren't getting their MMR vaccine, huh? Perhaps if they read things that go against their narrow-minded, liberal, government-trusting, manufactured biases, they would consider this. Measles outbreaks are transmitted by vaccinated. Research reveals that a vaccinated individual not only can become infected with measles, but it can also spread to others who are also vaccinated against it, disproving that multiple doses of MMR are 97% effective. And you know what? If you do get the measles and you're unvaccinated, you're going to beat it a lot quicker, and it'll be easier to get over. And it doesn't kill you. They used to have freaking measles parties for kids back in the 50s. Now they're getting worried because a lot of awareness has been created regarding the pharmaceutical industry and the harm their products are doing. But how come when it comes to vaccines, so many sheepies are afraid to even look at the evidence?
Oh no, that Dr. Offit said it's okay, so I believe him.
And because some people are waking up and finding truth, they are taking action against it. So, this Adam Schiff piece of crap, dummy-crat from California, asked Amazon to censor books about, vaccine realities. And Schiff's letter to Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos follows two other letters Schiff sent to Google head Sundar Pichai and Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg. In all three, Schiff criticized the platforms for serving up anti-vaccine propaganda where people look for information about vaccines, and now we have this. Amazon has appeared to remove anti-vaccination documentaries from search results on Amazon Prime Video today, as well as from the catalog of videos included with its Prime membership. Listen to what RFK said. The pharmaceutical industry controls America. Well, Bobby Jr., the plutocrats control America, and some happen to be in the pharmaceutical industry. So look at the whole picture, buddy. But anyways, he says, the regulatory agencies have been captured. They are subsidiaries of the industry. The press and doctors have been bought off. The lawyers and courts have been removed. The only thing left between that corporation and that child is the mother. And that's why there are bills to remove exemptions in every state. Yes, you said it. You got it, buddy. I kind of like RFK Jr. Now, personally, I intuitively don't trust that a poisonous injection from a profit-at-all-costs corporation like Merck is safe and effective. And my conclusions from my research is that your immune system will be worse off by getting toxic injections into your bloodstream. Keep your immune system strong, my friends. It is of the utmost importance. And be your own health advocate. Don't trust a health system that gives people antibiotics for the freaking flu, which I never get, except the only time I remember getting the flu was the only time I ever got a flu shot. It was like 20 years ago. And, that was my evidence that said it's all BS. But I bet the CEO of Merck and all the financial elite parasites don't get these toxic vaccines, and neither do their kids. Right, Bill Gates? He's not going to take one. He's going to give them to you, but he won't take them or give them to his kids. We need honesty in government and healthcare, and nothing important to our lives should be privatized, because privatization is profit at all cost deception. And in the case of vaccine manufacturers, the only true immunity they have is from being sued by anyone. Yep, they have no liability, because if they did, they would be forced to make safer products that would cut into their profits. We need to nationalize healthcare and have people paid a salary for doing the right things and being honest. No more BS. Anyway, to make people believe lies, they have to call the truth conspiracy. Now, there are many crazy conspiracies, like Agenda 21 is a documented and revealed elitist plan to slow kill us all non-elites. And they say all the unhealthy things in the food and vaccines and deadly natural disasters is the proof that they are slow killing us. No, the slow kill is a symptom of plutocracy, because profit at all costs are made off unhealthy things in the food, air, and water and vaccines, and the spike in natural disasters are from climate change, also due to plutocracy, because if we got the truth about it, we would have changed our energy systems long ago and ended lies in government and science. The same tactic makes credible conspiracies seem like crazy ones by association. If you believe one, you must believe them all, so smart people don't believe any of them, right? Even the real ones, and they trust the government proven to be liars unconditionally. All right, I had one more clip of this smug weasel who wrote a book about how crazy conspiracies like 9/11 truthers and anti-vaxxers are taking down America. But I changed my mind. I mean, I think we know what's going on and who the defenders of the status quo and plutocracy are. It's the smug dummycrats, and they're already looking for their new Obama to believe in right now. Like this one, listen. Democratic Senator Kirsten Gillibrand of New York believes that a fundraiser hosted at Pfizer executive's home does not conflict with her goal of minimizing lobbyist money from politics. No, of course not, because she's a Democrat, and we could trust her, right, sheepies? They need someone to believe in. You know, they loved their Bill Clinton. They believed in him. Oh, God, they loved Obama. Now they're looking for their new one. And, you know, it's going to be a con man or woman that they will all believe in because they don't think the people can govern themselves. You know, it's the same with the dim-witted Rat-publican sheepies. You know, they need their Trumpty Dumpty or Ronald Reagan to believe in. Well, sometimes people face reality and realize we can't believe in anyone who serves the plutocrats. And it can be kind of scary when you first admit it to yourself. Some people don't figure the great con of our culture, you know, till they're in their 40s or later. Well, not to brag or anything, but I figured it out in my 20s. Maybe even earlier. And I wrote a song about it, and I want y'all to hear it. And I warn you, it's a harsh and gloomy song that many people might be disturbed by. Well, it's one of the first songs we ever recorded when we were finally able to get enough money to afford some recording equipment. And it was just a demo to test out how our equipment was working and kind of see how good we were at mixing. And, you know, it's the first thing that I had lyrics all written out to. And we went on to record a lot of songs, and some are really good. And this one, you know, was kind of went by the wayside because it's, you know, a little bit amateurish, and I was just starting on my craft of lyric writing. But I like it, and I want you to hear it. And it's very realistic and honest. And, you know, some people say it sucks. Yeah, whatever. You know, they think every song has to sound perfectly digitally mastered and with expensive recording equipment. And if it doesn't sound up to that standard of production value, it sucks or whatever. Or, you know, they want to hear digital mixes they could shake their fat asses to. I think it is an expression of emotion and words that makes a song, you know, and the notes and chords and melody. Well, let me shut up and get on with it. This is an original song from Vince Marcanti and Kevin O'Gorman. Mickwop music. This one is dark, so please keep all ropes, knives, and guns away from you while this one's being played. When you finally realize the great con of the American dream, you first may panic and ask yourself, what have I got to believe in?
When I was still young, I wasted time, but I had so much fun. But now I wonder why I work so hard and still barely get by. I feel I wasted my life. The victims are my child and my wife. I had to give up my dream. My leg and left foot was what set the scene. But I want you to know it's so hard to let go. 'Cause I was still young. 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 'Cause I was still yo the things that you just can't have back. But you must never let go the will to keep yourself whole. Now what have I got to believe in? Now that I learned it's all so deceiving, and I'm the one that's left here grieving. And what have I got? Well, not a whole lot. Now some of us achieve wealth, but it's not with despising yourself to grow the send us to war. So them rich and they only want more. They could all feel content. We wouldn't hear about the billions they've spent. The coin can make us comply, but just as lies we can live with a lie. But I want you to know, someday I'm not in this show. And what have they got to believe in? Now that I proved it's all so deceiving, and I'm the one that's left here grieving. What chance have we got to make it all stop?
Oh, baby. That was Mickwop music. Well, Vince, you can believe in yourself and follow your heart and hope you find others to believe in. I'm going to play a very special song at the end of the show from Mickwop music that I know you will like. It's a great one. Now, I tell you, I don't know when people will demand an end to the BS in our culture, governance, and corporations, but either we are approaching the end or we have a new level of stupidity never before reached. Want to know what is considered news? Mainstream national news that is supposed to keep the people informed of the most important things going on in the world? The news the Democrats trust more than anything on the internet. Listen to this level of stupidity, trivialness, and omission of real news we get from the major networks, to help keep the sheepies divided and dumb. Now, this was last week on the Sunday night national news, and the lead story was a billionaire football team owner who paid for sex at a cheap rub-and-tug massage parlor in Florida. Yeah, can you believe that? But that wasn't the biggest story. This was. You're not going to believe this. Listen.
In the meantime, here at home, the president is facing a new lawsuit, a former Trump campaign worker accusing him of kissing her without her consent. The White House has issued a denial, and tonight there are witnesses who say it never happened. NBC's Kristen Welker with the details.
In this video, you can see Trump campaign staffer Alva Johnson outside an RV after a Florida stop in August 2016.
Good job, boss.
And you can hear Johnson praising Mr. Trump on this video she shot as he starts greeting supporters. But it's what Johnson alleges happened after this video that sparked her new lawsuit.
She moved her head aside. He still managed to kiss her on the corner of her mouth.
Oh, my God. Johnson's reaction?
In her words, she thought it was disgusting and creepy.
Johnson's lawyer says she told family members about the incident at the time. She also says 2 members of the Trump campaign witnessed it. But tonight, both of those people, Pam Bondi and Karen Giorno, say it never happened. Bondi telling NBC News, as a career prosecutor and attorney general, had I seen anything improper, I would have taken action. I was with the president in the RV, and these allegations are false. Press Secretary Sarah Sanders saying this never happened and is directly contradicted by multiple highly credible eyewitness accounts. While several women have publicly accused Mr. Trump of inappropriate behavior, Johnson is the first to allege it happened during the campaign. Her attorney says she left the campaign after the Access Hollywood tape dropped.
I just started kissing them.
But acknowledges Johnson then went to an inaugural ball and later applied for jobs in the Trump administration. And late today, revelations Johnson continued to speak glowingly of the president as recently as May 2017 in this radio interview.
He's just the nicest guy. He treats everyone as if they're a part of his family.
Alva Johnson's attorney says she said that because Johnson was worried about the non-disclosure agreement she had signed. So why wait so long to come forward? Well, her attorney says they've been working on the case for 8 months and felt now was the right time. Savannah.
Kristen Welker at the White House. Thank you.
Oh, very, very credible. Oh, thank you for keeping us up to date on that important news. Oh, good God. They go after this dim-witted president, and it just really makes the righties love him even more. You know, the more you attack him in the fake mainstream media, the more they're going to support him. But these lawyers who file lawsuits like this, I mean, they should be publicly humiliated for being the scum of the earth they are. Oh, dear Lord, he caught a corner of her mouth when he gave her a friendly peck on the cheek. And this was a black woman campaigning for a billionaire scam artist, and she loved him until that happened, I guess. What the hell? How does a lawyer turn that into a case, and how does that infantile story make it on national news? Well, I told you, it's, further division of the sheepies. They're reinforcing the Republicans' love for him as well as just attacking him all the time to make Democrats cheer that. It's just so goofy out there. The mainstream news is sickening. I can't stand living within such a stupid state of society and among such brainless people. And some of them call me uneducated. I even was called vacuous. While they don't even see reality. I mean, it's incredible. I'm vacuous, and they freaking still believe in these politicians. Democrats make me sick, and Republicans make me lose any hope for humanity. Did you know that Trump has 46% approval rating? Wow, that's incredible. The president's job, by the way, is to spew rhetoric and act like he wields power while distracting from the plutocrats who actually do wield power. So, all his job is to talk crap, Is he doing a good job at that? I mean, have you ever heard him talk? Is he good at it? Well, I guess almost half the sheepies think so. Wow, what a crazy country we live in. Not only do they think this democracy show is real, but half of them approve of how it's going. Good God. The more lefty Democrats are talking about a Green New Deal, which at least is forward-thinking and demands action, but it is being planned within the system that must end. Hence, it's all just a show. Until we end this form of veiled vulture plutocracy, nothing will ever change, and we can never move forward. And plus, over this Green New Deal, the righties just say,
we can't afford it, and you can't tax the rich to give free stuff to the poor because that's socialism like Venezuela. And look, they're starving in the streets over there. Let's just take their oil.
Even if a few newly elected, more progressive Democrats are saying things like Green New Deal, like Alexandria Cortez, it doesn't matter. The Democratic Party as a whole is 100% pro-plutocracy. They're capitalists who don't want universal health care, and they love imperialism and the status quo. So the Green New Deal is all a show for sheep to argue about. That's it. Until we change our system of governance and change how money works, essentially ending this debt-based monetary system of the 1%, we change nothing. This is what the rationalist movement will be about: systemic change, honesty, and reality. And in case you need a clear definition of the word reality, let's put it in the words of Philip K. Dick, the sci-fi writer who was a very interesting man. Reality is that which doesn't go away when you stop believing in it. Yes, the reality is we can change a suicidal system of insanity, and we can refuse to pay back the debt to the central bankers. And we can restructure our economy to be based on resources and our labor and services to our communities. There will never be a Green New Deal passed in Congress. It's not reality, nor is this response from a lovely, relatable, down-to-earth, hard-working gal, Ivanka Trump.
I don't think most Americans in their heart want to be given something. I spent a lot of time traveling around this country over the last 4 years, and people want to work for what they get. The idea of a guaranteed minimum is not something people want. They want the ability to be able to secure a job? What? They want the ability to live in a country where there's the potential for upward mobility. You spoiled little brat. You never worked a day in your pampered, pathetic life. Good Lord, why would anyone want to even hear from her? Good God. There are no secure jobs in creepy capitalist America. Except for gravedigger, I guess. Your job can dry up or be outsourced or be automated or, be too little pay to support a human being, or you can be replaced with a cheaper employee. And upward mobility is virtually non-existent to the lower class. Time to shut these people down and take real action to create an egalitarian and sustainable system of, by, and for the people. Time to unite and elect a new party. Things are going to really get out of control soon. Not just mandatory vaccines and social credit rating systems, but more geoengineering that is killing our habitat and destroying our ozone layer and jet streams faster. I mean, they got barrels of radioactive waste buried on fault lines and in a tsunami zone in Southern California because the nuclear power plant that was decommissioned there is privately owned, so everything is done as cheaply as possible. Rational minds don't make decisions in our government. Money-driven sociopaths are in charge, and the consequences are upon us. We can't let the most insane people in the world continue to direct us towards extinction. Now, I know it seems impossible for us to have any effect on a brainwashed and apathetic majority of people, but there will be an event that will scare the crap out of people. And if we get out there and talk about solutions and how to change the system with concise goals, they will come to us when the jig is finally up and they finally lose faith in the plutocratic order that's under the guise of a democracy. Don't give up. Keep talking. And I'm going to keep working on a plan as well. We need a platform for a new party that I'm calling the Rationalists. One that's totally grassroots and that will unite all of us. And we don't need to go out and get signatures to put
candidates up for election. That's a bunch of BS, that whole process. Should see what they made Ralph Nader go through, get all these signatures, and they look at him and say, no, this signature's wrong, so you're disqualified. No, we're forcing ourselves on there. We're making demands. I don't care if we're write-in candidates. We're taking our country back. All right, we'll talk more about this another time. I got to leave it there for now because I got to get up and do the painting gig again tomorrow. I'm pretty tired right now. I didn't have a lot of time to work on this show with all that's going on, but next time's going to be even better. But I think we learned some things today. It was a pretty good show, I hope. It's the 1-year anniversary, so I want to leave you with a special song. This song, my old musical partner, Kevin O'Gorman, came up with this beautiful music. He does such a great job with the guitars on this song. And I came up with the words, and I structured it and added this bridge also, which I think is great. It's just an all-around great song, and it's unique in the lyrics because it describes a young man who was supported and encouraged to be all he could be, by his middle-class family. They sacrificed for him. And he made it to the white-collar world where you get a big salary and you wear silk socks. And guess what happened? He became a greedy prick. He turned his back on his family. He became unkind. One line towards the end says, your brother's in the gutter and your dad's on welfare, but you don't even care. Well, it was an honor talking to you again this week, and I will see you next time on the Plutocracy Report. I'm Vince Marcanti, and this is Mickwop Music. We're all behind you. Oh, boy.